That's how power was made. He said, breathe slow, spine
Check in 1, 2, 3.
Hold the door for your people, keep your circle dance. You don't
Man, I see some comments in the background here.
You don't sprint for approval, you just move, you create.
Maybe he didn't account for
stay focused, eyes front,
spring forward.
Heart open, move with purpose.
Shit, is there a
step like you already
thinking? It's 8 o'clock in the New York, isn't it?
To the sky that climb.
I'm late.
I remember every word, every line.
I'm never supposed to be late, man. I'm always tight.
Guard your mornings like a
James,
write the plan, then attack, don't erase your place.
Am I late? Isn't it 8 p.m. in New York?
Love is a duty, this
Let me turn this music down a bit.
When it's ugly, when the edge is hard. You don't flex for a stranger.
Tell me how's the music,
you don't beg to be
James.
chosen, you become that man. Oh, stay focused, eyes front, hands ready, heart open, move
really?
with purpose.
Damn island boy. 5 a.m. here in Dubai, and that's my time. We jumped ahead. Ah, shit. All right, okay. All right. Okay, my bad. Did it? Oh, man. So I'm 1 hour late. Okay, all right, let me get the music.
You already know the plan. You just need a honest man.
All right, gentlemen, my apologies. I did not anticipate for the 1 hour change. Whew. Man, this is life, bros. This is life. Too much going on in the world. I never, ever took that into consideration. Yeah. Hey, well, we're here. Let's get straight into it. If I'm late, just so that you guys know, all's good on the front here in Dubai with me. And no, there's no guy on the side with a rifle going, you better say what you're supposed to say. Okay. This is just, yeah. Despite what you guys see on the media, man, it's all good on this side. And I assure you, and I say the same thing to my family back home. If shit hit the fan over here, I'm going to be the first one that's going to be on a boat, plane, friggin' dinghy, whatever it takes to get out of here. All right? So you guys don't worry, man. I'm no bloody hero. All right? So it's peaceful. It's actually, this is the most peaceful it has ever been. You all have to realize that there's Dubai, and then there's other Emirates around us, and the oil fields are quite a bit far away from us, so that we don't get to actually hear a lot of the commotion with the oil fields, etc., where most of the attacks are going to happen. So Dubai is it's like a different city, So there's not a lot of issues in my area. So, guys, I'm good, man. I'm good. What about the guy behind that bush? he's gone, man. He's gone. You guys are funny, man. Listen, it is a weird time to be alive, but fundamentally, it is going to wake a lot of us up to realize that the world does not stay constant. And I'm leading straight into what we're going to be discussing today, which is marriage necessary, right? Let me get that banner up here. Do men need marriage more than women? I don't even think that should be a discussion, but we're here because we're getting the women coming back with the same crap, that we don't need marriage. So fundamentally, we need to ask ourselves, well, what was marriage good for in the first place? Yeah. And I wish I could get more women in here to get their feedback. But the reality of why we need marriage, especially even more now than ever, is that we're starting to see the uncertainties of life. And I can tell you, it's much better to have a partner on your side, by your side, and in your corner than not having someone there at all. You know? Good morning from Germany. Good morning. Good to see you, brother. All is well, man. All is well. Can't complain. I think the most I got is, my allergies are kicking in again. The woman in my house and this damn cat, Sister, I am a sister. Welcome, welcome. I always love to see our women in the house. So, yeah, it's an interesting subject today. Let me get over and let me play a video for you so that you guys can see where the discussion is going to be going. Let me load this one up. Where is she? It was a lady that.
You gotta be the mother, you gotta be the maid, you gotta be the mother, you have to be the bringer home of the bacon and frying up in the pan too. Help me understand what the benefit of that is for women. Why is that a benefit? What do women get out of that versus choosing to remain single, make your own money, keep your autonomy, travel, do what you want to, build your wealth, build your entrepreneurial things, screw all the little sexy dudes you want to, stay fine and cute or lay around, eat potato chips, whatever, on your own terms. You got to have anybody in your ear. You can have any children. You're not responsible for anything. As with all of my videos and all my content, nieces that are child free and single, this is all a cautionary tale. Don't be bamboozled because men understand that they are the ones that win with marriage. They get free labor and women don't understand that. Women have been scammed for decades about, oh, you should be a bride and a wife and a mother. It's shit. It's free labor. That is what it is if you don't vet and if you don't marry well. So you got to be the maid. You got to be the.
All righty. So you got to be the maid. You got to be the mother. You got to be the chef. It's amazing how apparently the man is not necessary at all. At all. And this is the discussion I want to have. Yeah. Free labor. Apparently, women consider themselves free labor when they have to contribute anything whatsoever. And I want you ladies to actually comment on this. Now, I'm going to tell you though, because I keep getting this a lot from women, is that if both people are working outside the home, and the man expects the woman to come home and cook and clean and do everything on a daily basis, he gets to come home and relax and not even do anything. Why is that fair? And my answer is, it isn't. It isn't. So we have to get rid of this notion that men just come home and relax. And I don't think that is the way the majority of men operate in today's environment. So I got to say that any degree of effort that women have to put into marriage, it becomes a massive burden for her. God forbid if the man sits down for a minute, because a woman never sees what the man does. She only sees when he sits his ass down. Ooh, that's a problem. And I noticed this is part of female pathology. I get up, and I'll use my marriage as an example, right? I get up at 3:30 a.m. Right now, it is 5 a.m. over here in Dubai. I get up at 3:30 a.m. My body, it's not the healthiest thing to do, to be honest with you, but that's my time. I get up and I start working, putting together my scripts, producing my shorts, answering comments from from the videos that came out the night before, putting together all of the information that is required to actually get work done. And by the time my wife wakes up, right, I'm already gone to the gym. I've gone for my walk. I've done a lot. So she used to see me, and this always happened. So by the time I'm ready to relax, they're now starting to function. But seeing me lay down, right? Remember, I've already gone through 4 hours of work before my women, my two girls, my two teenagers, and my wife wake up. And I get, Daddy, every time I see you, all you're doing is lying on the couch. You're sleeping. They don't see when I was busting my ass before they even function. Because women never see when the men work. They only see and acknowledge when the man sits down. So I think this is a problem. Let me see. I completely disagree with you. Men need more relaxation than women. Men hold more stress in their body, which is why can do more than women, and men let go through doing nothing and decompressing. I would argue this. Men function differently in the sense that men tend to do more high-stress jobs. Women tend to do more low-stress jobs. They specifically choose those jobs. If a man is a blue-collar worker, it's worse. He's expending a massive amount of energy. When a woman is doing HR and secretarial work and, low effort or low physical effort jobs, then that's a different story. And if a woman don't understand that, hey, her man needs to come home and eat, he needs to get the calories back in, he needs his energy replenished, especially as he get over 30, 35, 40. Shit, man, the man does not freaking recuperate and regenerate as he did when he was in his 20s. But a lot of women don't see that. They ignore that point. Because as far as they're concerned, if he's sitting on his ass, he's not producing. So all I can say is, hey, until women see that, we have to understand that men need more rest physically, okay? I am married with 4 children and happier than ever. Yes, it's stressful, but manageable. My cousin supports me raising our children, taking care of the house. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming she's, but how much work does your husband do in the house? Because you say your cousin supports me raising our children. It sounds like the way we used to do it back in the old days, My mother and father, they were blue-collar workers, right? And they had 5 kids in the house. So the older ones used to manage and take care of the younger ones, but also the neighbors, the next-door neighbors. They also helped out because they had a different schedule than my mother and father. So they were always keeping an eye on us. Okay, we had an open door. The homes were quite close together. So we always had to rely on the community. But nowadays, it's not communal anymore. Everybody has apartments. The one thing that keeps us apart, apartments. Play on words, but it rings true. We are an isolated society, so we don't have community anymore helping us out, right? So we're back to the one simple point. If both parties are white collar workers and you all live in an apartment where the man don't have to go out and fix things in the house because we have maintenance guy that comes out and do that, or the you don't have a lot of external work as men, then men should put some of that effort into helping the woman inside the house. I think that is absolutely fair. But women also go on like they have to come home every day and freaking scrub clothes on a old, rubbing board and, wring or take freaking clothes down to the river to wash them out. Those days are not, that's not work anymore. Every woman thinks that she needs help throwing a few pieces of clothes in the washing machine and putting in the powder and thinking that that's hard work. It's insane. Or once a week, she has to turn on the Roomba, the automatic vacuuming cleaning machine, and think that that's hard work. I don't get it. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. I used to work in a steel factory doing hard labor. After 10 to 12 days, I was spent. The only woman there was in an office pushing paper. Pauline Line, yeah, of course, this is life, My husband is a dentist, has his own clinic. He works a lot. He barely do something in the house. Yeah, I mean, dentist, man, it's hard. That's hard freaking work. Not only is it physically hard, because most of the time he's standing or maneuvering over someone and it's a high stress situation. Why should he come home to bust his ass? And I'm assuming that the wife has a less stressfully or physically or mentally stressful job. So of course, you guys have to understand that sharing responsibility is essential. All right, let's listen to this other lady here.
I don't care what nobody say. I think that men benefit in marriages more than women. Because men be talking about, oh, I don't want to get married because a woman gonna take half. But most of y'all don't even really have half to take. Most of y'all are average. Y'all are not the super wealthy. Y'all are not the 1%ers. Y'all don't be giving chicks no lavish lifestyle. And y'all don't understand that, our grandmothers fell in line and did what men had to say because they needed men for survival. You know what I'm saying? These chicks, our grandmothers didn't have nowhere to go if they didn't have a man. Nowadays, men be wanting a woman to contribute to the household financially and give them a bunch of unpaid labor. Y'all be wanting a woman to help with bills, and y'all be like, oh, but it's just cooking, it's just cleaning. Who wants to be somebody free chef and maid and raise kids? Single women have the easiest life. All they gotta do is worry about themselves. They can eat pizza rolls every day. They could get somebody to take them on a date every day. If you have a man, that is so much unpaid labor. And y'all just be thinking that's what you're supposed to do. You pay a chef, you pay a maid, but y'all are so ungrateful to the women that y'all date. They doing that for y'all for free. I don't care. Men benefit more in marriages than women.
Okay, you heard what she said. So let me ask you a serious question, ladies. Who actually benefits more from the marriage today, men or women? I mean, it's a simple question, right? But to me, it almost seems nonsensical, because we live in a society now that is really not built for single people. It really isn't. But if you listen to the modern conversations, marriage is either a trap for men or a prison for women. This just seems to be the norm. But here's the deeper question nobody asks anymore. Is marriage even necessary anymore? Because a lot of men are saying no. Women are saying no. Because for most of human history, marriage hasn't been about romance. It was never about romance. It was about survival, stability, and raising competent children. And I would argue that we've lost sight of that. This is the problem. Tell me I'm wrong. Ah, 1581 says, women benefit more from marriage. Yeah. And here's why I would say women benefit more from marriage than men. And I think they both benefit, but and I'm not going to look at the big picture, because the big picture is all about kids. That's the big picture. I'm going to ignore that for a second, but I'm just going to rebut what these women are saying. The cost for women to exist in today's world is more expensive than men. Women require more money to exist the way she wants. Not only the feminine products, but if a woman has to exist in this world, in the same world that men exist in, a man can go and stay in the cheapest, in the shittiest part of town and feel physically safe. Okay? He won't feel threatened by the thugs outside his door. He could walk down the street. Okay? And if he's physically strong and he looks imposing, it's even better. He can pretty much stay anywhere he wants. A female cannot do that. She has to go and find a more expensive, safer area to live in. That's just number one. Number two, women have a higher degree of neuroticism than men. What do I mean by that? She responds to mental stress a lot more severe than men do. The same event that occurs for a man that is so-called hard is traumatic for a woman. So what we find is that just the little existences, the little things in life affects her more. We see this when it comes to when a woman gets a house or when she moves into a home. A man can sit in a freaking lawn chair in the middle of a living room with a lamp, a pizza box, some beers in the fridge. I'm talking about the lowest of the lowest. A mattress on the ground in the corner of his bedroom. And he will be fine as he builds his wealth. For a woman, that is total and absolute torture for her. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. It proves if survival was their only means of cooperation, then they were never loyal to the mission. Would love to do a collab, brother. Absolutely, bro. Send me an email, paul@askanolderman.com. Let's talk. Okay? So here's the thing. If it costs more for a woman to actually just exist in today's modern society, and women are still earning less than men, who do you think is going to actually benefit more in the long run? Because here's the thing about life that a lot of you don't understand, especially the young generation. When you're young, energetic, and you got time, and you got your health, life feels perfect, beautiful. When that 40-year-old mark hits, reality sort of sits in a little bit different. It hits different. Reality hits a lot different. All of a sudden, you're feeling aches and pains you never thought you'd feel. Okay? You realize, and I'm talking about a woman right now, and I'm talking for the woman, okay? And I'm saying this from a man's perspective simply because I see this all the time in women, okay? Your biological clock hits different. Your emotions and your hormones hit different. Your outlook on life changes because the attention and benefits that you used to get from men when you were in your youth have literally dried up and disappeared. Men ain't paying for drinks at the bar anymore. Men ain't falling over themselves to take care of you anymore. Reality hits different. The men that you want are not falling over themselves to get to you and take care of you. So you realize that, oh, my expenses are going up considerably as I get older. So you never thought of this when you were in your 20s because life was awesome. You never thought that this would go away. You just thought, hey, you know what? If I keep putting that Botox in and pumping my lips up with freaking collagen and putting that shit on my face, and putting on my mask and hitting the gym. And even if you take care of yourself, which during the course of that time has cost you a tremendous amount of money to keep your upkeep. So you've been spending a lot of money that you should have been putting away. You should have been investing that money. But no, you've put it into your body. The amount of money I hear women spend on their monthly upkeep, $400-500 per month, just on beauty shit. It drives me insane. And I'm talking about the lower end. The woman that wants to be more conservative will spend around $200 to $300. Now, I want you to just think about that amount of money going into an investment account that's going to make her more money. And if she's single, that money is going to be spent even further when it comes to her enjoyment, because a woman has to feel happy. She needs to feel happy. What does that mean? Happiness is an emotion that woman thinks that has to be constant. So what does she do? She's going to brunches. She's going to new experiences with her friends. Men don't need that shit. Men are very, very satisfied with going to the gym, the same damn gym that he's been going to for the last 6, 7, 8 years, and seeing the same guys going to the same pub or bar, chilling out at the same bloody beach or going over his friend's house. Men live very, very inexpensively. We don't need brunches and we don't need traveling. You don't hear men going on, I do traveling. No. So men don't spend that stupid money in his early days. And you might ask yourself, well, Paul, what does this have to do with marriage? Because what I'm showing you is that once two people get together and one is an excessive spender and the other one isn't, the other one party is going to start sucking from the other party. And if marriage is something that we both have to grow together with, but one needs more money to survive, they will benefit more from the other person. Tell me I'm wrong. I had a conversation about the BBL with someone the other day. She wants one because men like it. No, they don't. I told her I have never heard a man say, if only she had more booty, I'd marry her. Thank you. Thank you, Delvin. This is the problem with a lot of women. A lot of women just listen to each other. They don't listen to men anymore. If you watch my video from last night, it clearly demonstrates this. Women do not freaking listen to men. And they don't give men what they want. They listen to other women. So we've become an extremely individualistic society. Everything today is about my happiness, my independence, my freedom, my personal journey. But marriage was never, ever designed around individualistic idealistic bullshit. Marriage was designed around a family unit. And this is where the problem come in. It was just about two adults forming a long-term alliance to survive life together. Life is freaking unpredictable. Okay? Unpredictable. You know how many single women here in Dubai now have freaking flee. They're gone because they're frightened the crap out of them. In the beginning of this debacle over here, many of them disappeared. There are memes about it all over the internet. Because women basically cannot survive the trauma and the stress. They need to be in completely safe environments in order for them to feel that they're going to survive. My wife is cool. She got a husband over here. We've got our shit tight together. She knows I got her back. She knows I'm here for her. No need to disrupt our lives. Physical and sexual compatibility needs to be part of the connection before you get married, along with the mental, emotional, and spiritual connection. Yeah, but you're not going to get all of them together. What we have to understand about marriage, and listen, I'm 22 years in, 23, with the same woman. And I can tell you, we never had all of these compatibilities together. Marriage is about also building together. You might have some, listen, she was sexy as hell. Okay. We had a great, we connected on an intellectual level. She was smart enough to, and I was not feeling like I was looking at somebody going, holy shit, no, I don't want to have kids with this dumbass. No, she was smart enough. She was very healthy. And she was friendly. Fit, friendly, feminine, childless. She fell into all of those criterias. I said, hey, I'll marry her. Okay. After that, we just had to build on that. So as long as the basic building blocks are there, that's it. So I knew what I had to work with, because you're not going to get somebody that's completely compatible. It's not going to happen. So for all of you that think that the woman has to be perfect or the man has to be perfect in order for you guys to get married, no, but you got to look at the fundamentals. What are the things that are going to make it unbearable for you? Your political views? I don't know. I don't know what it is that would do it for you guys, you know? But it varies for different people. Paul, you don't seem to understand just how lucky and rare what you have is. Yeah, buddy, I do know, because I can see the freaking choices that you guys have out there. And yeah. And listen, don't ever think that my marriage or any marriage is always, bed of roses. Sometimes I feel like freaking just, I lay at night with the pillow just going, just hold it down. And guess what? She thinks about it the same way that I do, because that's marriage. That's life. That's part of existing as human beings. We are not going to always agree. Sometimes, we both feel like strangling each other. But I think we have lost the art of getting along with each other, because we have become such an individualistic society. And we're constantly thinking about what is it that I'm not getting? Not what I have in my marriage, but what am I not getting? We're constantly thinking about the shit that we're not getting. And we constantly ignore the fact that, you know what? If I didn't have this, I would be in a worse off situation. Imagine if the jobs disappear, the health failed, the economy crash. You know, my child needs support. Marge historically said, we deal with this shit together. That's it. Now, let's talk about the children. How is it that we keep ignoring the children? One of the most overlooked functions of marriage is how children learn about relationships. Children do not learn relationship skills from school. No, they mimic their parents. This is a lot of people don't understand. They watch how a man handles responsibility in the home and how a woman cooperates with the man, how conflict is managed, how respect is maintained. Don't get it. That household becomes their first relationship classroom, period. And when that structure disappears, my friends, children are left trying to figure out how male-female dynamics through what? Social media, other kids at school who have the same shitty parents at home, dating apps, television. Those are terrible substitutes, absolutely horrible substitutes. Paul, the Me Too movement, false accusations, no-fault divorce, social media, and reality TV is the destructive force. Yes, yes, it is. We know what the problems are. We need to find solutions. I try to give solutions. I try to give suggestions. I mean, there's no universal suggestion or solution to any of these problems. But we have to pick a point, pick a battle, and say, okay, let's focus on this. But both parties have to listen to the same message, and that's not happening. Like right now, 99.9% of the people listening to this conversation are men. So if the message is only going into men's ears and one party is not hearing what they have to do, they think that they're fine. They're good. They think that, hey, we don't have to change. Hello, California. I feel the separation is the focus on the extreme ends of the field that divides the fence instead of just looking where the majority of us exist, right at the fence itself. Yeah, you're right. The problem with that is that most of us are average men. And a lot of times, women are not looking for average. This is where the problem comes in. Men do not need marriage. We don't, unless we want to have kids. Because it comes back to that one fundamental thing. Marriage benefits our offspring. It is the only way that we know that works incredibly well. Once we have a child and the child starts to mimic the parents, it's important that we understand this simple point. We live in a society that have males and females. And if kids don't see the interaction between parents at home first, we're in trouble. Man loves simplicity and peace. Most women read too many romance novels and waiting for Prince Charming who doesn't exist. Yeah. Is the music on? I thought the music was off. Let me check the music. If it's on, I apologize. Oh, so you punking me. There's no music. Which music are you talking about? Is anybody else hearing music? Thank you. Boy, there's always that one guy out there that just needs to throw things off. Topaz for days. Screw marriage. After watching one of Paul's videos, my AI gave me a prenup. Boss, you're too funny, man. I'm not watching live. Okay. Okay, got you. All right, Topaz. Traps for days. Sorry, traps for days. I gotta get my glasses fixed, man. All right, let's listen to another video because I got a bunch of these women just pretty amazing, man. The amount of women, the way they think.
Key problem I have with marriage as it is done currently here in.
All right, this is James Saxon. He's a divorce attorney. I love this dude, man. Let's listen to what he said.
Key problem I have with marriage as it is done currently here in the West and in other places, but certainly the clay in which I work, is that there are certain promises the law can enforce, and there are certain promises it can't. So if we acknowledge, if we say the quiet part out loud, that in the majority of heterosexual marriages, the man brings protection and providing, and the woman brings kindness, warmth, and care, right? And sex. That's the economy. That's the economy. I didn't make that up. Don't get fucking mad at me in the comments. I didn't make it up. It was here before me. It's going to be here after me, I promise, right? So that's the game. That's the economy. His roles, his obligations are enforceable by law. So state power can be used to enforce his obligations, not hers. The court cannot order her to be nice to him, or to fuck him, or to stay pretty, or to stay sweet and friendly to him and kind to him, or speak nicely of him, or raise the children in a meaningful way that, you know, creates value to him instead of teaching them to disrespect him, right? But his promises in that, shelter, food, financial obligations, court can force you to do that. And if you don't do it, they can put you in jail, or they can take away your driver's license, your professional licenses. So what is that? When you have a contract where only one side is enforceable by law, under penalty of law, like that is a dangerous game to play if you're a man, period.
Ooh. Yeah. This is a reality. This is a reality that women know. They know this. Yeah, he is preaching. If she refuses sex, the man has the right to get a mistress. We wish. I met a couple of weeks ago, and she stated to me that she was expensive. So I told her, so are you? Porn, don't know if I could say the word on your channel. Okay, I get it. So is a prostitute. Yeah. I mean, the reality of it is, if a woman wants to break her value down to the amount of holds that a man has access to, unfortunately, that is who she becomes, and that's where a lot of men will classify her. And then she gets upset when men put her in that box. Men have only two boxes: the sex box or the relationship or marriage box. That's it. So, hey, that's the reality that we live in. But here's the next issue about marriage: the economic survival. Okay, that's a huge thing, man. We need to understand that economics in marriage is vital, because once one person loses a job. And I see this here in Dubai a lot, right? I mean, things get unstable here in Dubai. A lot of these girls come over here and they get a nice job. But then they want to have a certain lifestyle and they want to portray that they're doing it. This happens in America as well, and the UK, all over. So they go out, they buy the nice car, they're out at brunches, they're out at the events all the time, trying to freaking meet this guy. And they think it's an investment into finally trying to bag that guy, right? And then they get the Botox, they get the lip injections, they get they want to go to the nicest gyms because they feel that there's another opportunity to meet that top level guy because he will more than likely go to the best of the best gyms. So her expenses on a monthly basis is substantially high. Of course, she needs to stay in a nice area, right? So all the money that she's making from that nice job is overextended. Plus, she's borrowed money for that nicer car, etc., right? All of a sudden, the job market changes. Bombs start going overhead or missiles or whatever. I'm not saying, and let's take war out of it. Just economic downturns, economic changes. COVID, for example, was a huge freaking disruptor of many jobs. So guess what? She now has a massive amount of debt and no job. And she's in deep, deep doo-doo. Now, over here in Dubai, having debt is a massive problem. They put you in jail if you can't pay your bills. It's not, well, things have changed substantially. But when I first came, you better not have a debt that you cannot repay because they'll put your ass in jail. Simple. Things have changed substantially since I've been here. I've been here 16 years. So now you just have to try to find a way to pay the debt. But that means that your passport is taken away from you. You can't go anywhere. You're not going. So you're not in jail physically, but you are bound to the country until you pay your debt off to the people who you owe it to. And you're blacklisted until that point. So it's hard to get out. And this is once somebody puts a case against you, you ain't going anywhere, my friend. So things are significantly different in this world, right? So what happens? She runs before the debtors, start to creep in. Either that or she resolves to the one most basic thing that she knows that she's going to make some quick money fast. Or some real money fast. And that is to rent out some of those rent out some of those holes that she has. This is normal. She needs to now start selling herself. And this is where we come. This is what happens. Instead of her, listen to this beautiful alternative, finding an average man, just an average guy, build slowly together, have an average life, enjoy everything on a lower level together, and just build slowly together. Which one you think has a lower degree or a higher degree of success versus trying to freaking do that Hail Mary type of freaking play? For American friends, you know what a Hail Mary is in American football. Trying to make that big freaking gamble and losing. Because the possibilities of winning that one big dude based on how she appears to look is slim to none. Because this woman don't realize that there's a 20-year-old that don't have to do any of that shit coming up every day that those men that she's trying to attract, those men want. Not her 35, 36, 40-year-old ass who's trying to freaking recreate and this so-called fantasy for men. It's insane. So marriage creates what you could call a life partnership. Simple. It's just two people pooling labor, pooling money, and pooling time and emotional support together. This is what you call long-term planning. Because raising children and surviving life alone is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult, ladies. So here's the economic reality most people ignore. It all comes back to money, right? The cost of living has exploded. I mean, crazy. Housing, healthcare, childcare, education, retirement. I mean, you guys have any idea? Of course, men, you guys know it. And as the older ladies, they'll know it. One person trying to handle all of that alone is under enormous amount of pressure. But two adults cooperating long-term can build something called household wealth. And this is the most important part. Most wealth in the middle class is built through long-term partnership, shared mortgage, shared investments, right? Shared risk. Marriage historically allowed families to compound stability over decades, not months. What has he done for me lately didn't come into the equation. Why is the U.S. so brainwashed about the war in Iran? Also, why are the women so delusional and the guys such simps? It's the reality we live in, man. It's the reality we live in. I don't want to talk too much about the war in Iran. It's a very sensitive subject for this region. I just don't want to get into that. You know, yeah, I don't want to have to worry about if I say something wrong, you know? So I'm going to hold that. So if I get with her, the government comes after me. But if I don't get with her, leave her dry up on the street, neither government nor man will care for her. I can live with that. Cool. Okay. But Andrew. Do you want to have kids? Because this is the reality of the world, right? Do you want to have kids? Because essentially that's what it all comes down to. If you don't want to have kids, then there's no reason for you to get married. If you're building wealth successfully on your own. That's the caveat. Successfully on your own. And the caveat to that is, if you do have a woman who demands on taking more assets from you than you would invest, then it's better for you to still be on your own. You get my point? If she's not bringing any benefit at all to you, because we also have to realize, each and every one of us. Yeah, guys, get my likes up. I never forget. I always forget to ask you to please like this show as we go so that it could, the algorithm can push it out to more people. Okay, I lost my train of thought now. Yeah, Andrew. What are the benefits? Is simply that you get to balance a male-female relationship for your kids. That's essential. And of course, you don't want your child to grow up with a single mom. That would be a nightmare. So if you look at the cost of that, meaning you're going to be paying for it either way. And if you see the benefits to that, then by all means, get married. But if you don't want to have kids, if you don't want to, or if you don't see the value of investing in a woman who is going to contribute back to you, then shit, no, I wouldn't recommend you getting married at all. And to be honest, after I have been in this space for a while and see how the government treat men in divorce, I would even just ask a woman for a living arrangement, a cohabitation arrangement. In other words, get tied together without government intervention, because the government is always on the woman's side. And I don't see that being a good deal for men. And if you want, I will send you a cohabitation agreement free. Free. And if you're listening, you know that I'm here to provide solutions. So I have a cohabitation agreement that was drawn up by 2 attorneys. And I just had another gentleman who upgraded it for me for one of the states in America. I can't remember which one it was, but if you guys want it, let me know. Send an email to paul@askanolderman.com. paul@askanolderman.com, and I will send you the cohabitation agreement out free. You'll have it before the end of the day, or for you guys by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. Okay? Let's see. Marriage is a desperate plea for a woman that he risks half his asset just for her to sleep with him. Good point. No, men do not need marriage, but women do. Well, they're claiming that they don't. And the reason is they have their own job, they have their own money, etc., etc. Some of them do. Some of them, they need a man simply because it's cheaper for them. It's cheaper for them to exist. It's safer for them to exist. So this is the difference. All right, let's listen to another video here.
Want to know something wild? Women traded family for a 9-to-5 and then they called it liberation. Just think about it for a second. Our grandmothers prayed for husbands so that they could work hard, raise kids, and build a strong home. That was the dream: security, love, and purpose. Then feminism came along, told women that being a wife and being a mother is oppressive. So what did we do? We left the home to work for men that don't love us at companies that will replace us the second we get burnt out. That's not freedom, that is slavery in heels. Feminism convinced women that family is a cage and working for a corporate job is empowerment. Tell me this, why do so many women hit 30, are alone, exhausted, and wondering why they feel so empty? It's because you can't outsmart God's design. No promotion will ever replace a husband that loves you and children who adore you. So no, I'm not anti-woman, I'm pro-woman, and pro-woman enough to tell you the truth. Real freedom isn't in a cubicle or a nurse's station, it's in building a legacy. So go forth and multiply.
Yeah, it's good to see even a pink-haired woman talking sense, man. You know, Paul, I sent you a super chat as a test. Yeah. Jeff, let me see. I didn't see yours. Let me see. I'm scrolling back up to see if I saw yours super chat. But anyway, I don't know when you sent it, but I don't see. I see others coming in, but I don't see yours coming in. But anyway, no, I don't see yours coming in. But this young lady hit the nail on the head. So just so you guys know that not all colored hair women are so liberal that they don't get this. Okay? So we have to, but she hit the nail straight on the head. This whole modern shift that has occurred has really distorted women's brains, man. Marriage shifted from just an institution to personal fulfillment projects. Instead of asking people, hey, can we build a life together? That was the common question. That should have been the common question. You know, people ask, does this person make me feel happy right now? And when happiness dips, people assume the relationship is broken. This is where we're at. But long-term partnerships were never meant to be permanent excitement, my friends. Never. I can tell you, 20 years in, I'm not permanently freaking happy. They were meant to be long-term commitments and cooperation. So let's talk about you guys, right? A lot of you guys today ask a very practical question. I love men and their practicality. What exactly is the benefit of marriage for me? And the reason is that because the legal and financial risk for divorce is really real. You know? Asset division, child custody battles, financial obligation that can last for decades, 18 years. So many men today hesitate, not because they hate women. They hesitate because they are calculating risk versus reward. It's always about risk versus reward. That's it. Not even 9 inches can keep a woman happy. She will complain that he doesn't make enough money. Boss, you gotta have 9 and you gotta make a lot of money. And you can't be bald. We can't always put people in a box because upon what we see others doing with similar looks or trends, it's basically the same as racism when you get the roots of the prejudice. I get what you're saying, but unfortunately, we have to identify patterns. If a woman acts like a hoe, she's going to be treated like a hoe. Okay? Paul, I want to have a conversation with you on air, but I have to get some rest. So I go to work at 2 a.m. So we talk next week. Okay, Carlton, no problem, man. Next time. I'll be here next week. So we got to understand that men just don't see the benefits. That it's just too much risk for a lot of men. And a man, especially the average man, I mean, he works hard for this shit. You don't want to end up with some woman who wakes up one day and just say, I'm not happy. Give me half of your shit so I can leave. No. We just aren't compatible with the modern woman. And this is always my argument. Women have become the thing that men don't want. Women have become the thing that men don't want. And I say it, and I have chosen my words very carefully. I say thing, not a person. Because the characteristics that she has become, the characteristics that she has changed are almost like they're not even human. It's given her body to so many men, for example. It's just becoming so materialistic. These are just not human traits, man. They're traits that men just don't see as being feminine, you know? So I want to define them like that because I want to make it sound like it has no value to men. When I say value to men, I'm talking about value for men who want to get married. Men who want to have sex, of course. Yes, bring that shit on. Men love a easy woman. Who doesn't? Which man doesn't? We will hit it. Look at this little gem here.
I don't need a boyfriend. I kind of see him for the sex.
Oh, okay.
Do women really do that? I understand why men do that, because
Yeah.
men are just constantly thinking about sex, especially when they're very young. But like, do women really think that way? I know feminism pretends that women think about sex the same way that men do, but that's not real, right?
I mean, no, actually, once you get comfortable with someone, like once you're sleeping with them enough, I think the sex gets a lot better. Which is why I'm seeing this guy where the sex is good because we've been seeing each other, but I'm like dating other people or like.
But don't
going
you
on other
think
dates.
the other guys that you're dating might frown upon it if you're sleeping with a different guy?
No, because they're sleeping with other people too, probably.
Do you like it that they're sleeping with other people too?
I mean,
I feel like you
don't you want your needs met?
You've stumped me. Don't you want to fulfill your needs with one person to whom you're attracted?
We are cooked. We are cooked because I look at this show and I see the young generation. That's what I see. I see the ones coming behind me. I see the ones that are going to vote. That's the scary part. Whew. It's 3 a.m. in Germany. Wow. Okay. I'm going to remain single forever. The reality of it is, my friends, is that this is the world that we're currently living in. The young generation just don't see a lot of value in themselves the way men see value in women. Yeah, women hate when Michael Knowles is on the other side of the conversation. They can't get mad as they want to when the good guy energy is given out the way he does it. Yes, true. This is how I think most conversations should be online. Just a guy just saying, hey, let's have a discussion. Instead of it being, like Myron that keeps the hard stuff. I think that push works for very few women. It doesn't work positively for a lot of women. And if we want to get results from women, I think the conversation has to be quieter. Because I've tried both methods, and even though marginally it works better when I'm more calm, on a whole it rarely works, to be honest. Women just don't want to listen anymore, man. Because women ask different questions, right? They're always asking, well, why aren't men stepping up anymore? This is always the big issue. I had a show on this. I did a video on this a couple of days ago. But stepping up historically meant something very specific. It meant building. It meant, maintaining a family structure, But modern culture, unfortunately, also told women that, hey, you don't need a man. Marriage is optional. Independence comes first. So now both sexes are navigating a relationship environment where the rules have changed. This is the problem. So the real issue isn't men versus women. No, the real issue is cooperation versus individualism. That's it. Marriage, historically, forced people to think long term. No one thinks long term. I should say women don't think long term. But what it did was it forced people to plan. It forced people to compromise. It forced two people to face life together. And without that structure, society becomes far more fragmented. This is where we're at. I grew up in the 1970s, and most women back then stuck with their men. But as feminism got out of control, 198s and beyond have twisted their thinking. Yeah. This is the truth. Because people today are taught to be victims. It's always someone else is responsible for what happens unless it's good. Yes, that is so true, man. There's no introspection or how I can improve myself and be better. Oh, you guys are spitting some facts, man. These are the facts right here. You know? But here's the uncomfortable truth, ladies. Marriage isn't primarily about happiness. It never was about happiness. Marriage is about stability, structure, and raising the next generation. We're forgetting that. Romance is the spark, but the cooperation is the engine that runs a freaking marriage, man. My wife filed for divorce after 35 years of marriage. Unbelievable. Where does she think that she's going to go at this later stage in life? To do what? To be on her own? Human beings are social creatures. It's as simple as that. We are social creatures. I hope you're still not giving her husband type relationship while you're been divorced from her. Because a lot of you men who face divorce later in their life, their wives are still calling them for, you know, advice and checking up and seeing how you're doing. No, she's not checking up to see how you're doing. She's checking up so that you are there still in her presence. So she still wants all the mental sort of support, but she still wants to be away from you while she's, you know, spending half of the freaking money that you guys should have put away together. Women don't understand the disruption. Happiness is a fleeting feeling. We cannot be happy all the time. I tell my daughter this, yeah. Happiness is literally a feeling. And unless you're on freaking drugs, there's no way that you can actually feel happy all the time. Even when you're on drugs. I never take drugs, but I'm assuming that, you know, at some point, yeah, you're going to crash. Paul, have you seen any of the popular gold digger videos on YouTube where the guy approaches a woman, she's uninterested, walks away and runs back after she sees the car? Yeah, I've seen many of them. Many of them. And it's hilarious watching them. I don't know how many of them are staged or what, but this is the reality of life. I see it in real life here all the time. Woman not interested in a man until she realizes, oh, he's actually a CEO of something big. Okay, let me check him out. Oh, he's a doctor? Because all she saw when she was introduced to him was he was bald, he was slightly chubby, and she had no interest in him until she heard what he did. I always tell men, don't lead with what you do. Don't lead with your wealth. Have a conversation with her first and then see how she reacts to you before she knows what you do. And then after that, when you reveal what you do, see if anything changes. Divorced 3 years, and trust me when I say men get better after divorce. Women will regret and did you a favor. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of men collapse after divorce. And never recover as well. So I've seen it both ways. It all depends on that man. If you, I always tell men, number one, never ever lose your network of men when you actually get married. Okay, actually, even during your marriage, you should actually build a larger network of men, because the more time that you spend building that network, the woman realizes, oh, he don't really need me. He has such a strong network. That's more attractive to her. And if she's stupid enough to leave you, that network of men are always there for you to help support you, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be money. I'm talking about literally just mental support. Second, never lose your communication skills with other women. I talk to women all the time. Your flirting and your interaction skills, yes. I don't mean flirt for a sexual outcome. Just have that sort of skill where you still can talk to a woman and make her smile, laugh. That type of skill. Never lose those skills, because once a woman decides or a wife decides to leave you, you will not feel like you're out here in the cold without any weapons, without any freaking, I'm trying to find the right words, but you got to have those skills. You got to keep those skills up. Okay? I even spoke to you, Paul, and your advice was valuable and stuck with me. You have to turn that plan into motivation and do the work to work on yourself and never stop. Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. Hey, Peter. After divorce, a man's identity is destroyed. I have to reinvent myself before things got better. Yes, but if you just took the advice I just gave you, for you gentlemen that are in marriages, you should not have to lose your identity, because you are the frame that the woman should walk into, not you walking into her frame and changing who you are. And I can almost guarantee you that the large majority of men go through divorce because during the course of the marriage, they lost their frame and they fell into the wife's frame. You have to understand, if a woman married you because of the frame that she saw and you changed to hers, dude, you just screwed yourself. Now you're her bitch. She walked into your frame because she saw that this is the man I want to be with. I like his frame. And you changed it to meet hers. You just screwed yourself. That's the reality of life, man. Facts, Paul, never lose yourself in a relationship. Yeah. We say you have to turn on the lights, brother. Don't stay in the dark. True. After divorce, my identity is destroyed. I read that one already. Let me scroll down. Never change for anyone, especially today's type of woman. Yes. Never. But I'm hoping that you guys understand the general message. If the woman was attracted to you when you were A, right? Just listen to the logic. And then once you got married, you changed to C. She's no longer married to the guy that she wanted. She's the C. So you either have to become a A, better, stay a B, which she don't really like because she wants a man that's constantly freaking improving. But for God's sake, don't go into her C. I hope that analogy made sense. But I'm trying to get you guys to understand, you got to keep who you are as a man, period. My wife knows. I'll tell her about her bomba clot. Simple. She don't play. Don't play. And that is what she knows. Don't play with me. Because if I lose my frame and fall into hers, man, I know it'll be all over. Never move in with a woman. I would not recommend it. Moving into her place pretty much makes you feel, or I should say, make her feel that you're stepping into her world. She should move in with you. Never move into a woman's home where she's paying the mortgage or where she's paying the rent. I made that mistake in my marriage. It was a huge mistake on my part, and especially tolerating disrespect today. I don't even allow it anytime. Yeah, you got to shut that shit down. Any form of disrespect, you squash it. You don't have to be nasty about it or aggressive. You just say calmly, hey, don't do that. I don't tolerate any form of respect. Men don't do it for me. Men don't do it to me, and I don't expect it from you as a woman or as my partner. So I'd appreciate it. Don't do it. And if she don't comply, just walk away. Walk the hell away, man. It's much easier, gentlemen, to actually walk away than to actually go through months, years of discomfort with a woman. Just not worth it. All right, gentlemen, it's coming up to the hour and a half mark. I'm winding down this now, okay? So marriage used to be a survival partnership, not a romantic experiment. You know, children learn relationships by watching adults cooperate. So what we've done, we've turned marriage into some happiness test instead of a life alliance. And the question isn't love. It isn't. The question is stability, period. Individual freedom sounds great until life gets freaking hard. Thanks, brother. So the real question isn't, do men benefit more from marriage? No, it isn't. Or do women benefit more from marriage? The real question is simply this, guys. What happens to a society when long-term male-female cooperation collapses? Because children still need structure. Structure. Life is still unpredictable, and surviving life alone is much harder than surviving life as a team. I'm telling you, it is. All right, so my friends, I'm going to leave it there. Please like this video before you leave so that the algorithm keeps pushing it out. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me, and I enjoyed this as always. I will be back next week, every week, I will make sure that I have to wake up 1 hour earlier now. Now that Jesus, I gotta wake up at 3 a.m. to get up for 4 a.m. Whew. Okay. Where do I get your book? On Amazon. You can either, well, if you go to any of my, it's not going to come up in the description of this video, but if you go to any of my previously posted videos, you can go, there's a link in the description, right? But you can get it on Spotify if you want it in audio, or Barnes & Noble if you want it on audio, or you can get it on Amazon on ebook or in soft copy. The hard copy is coming out soon, but you can get it on soft copy right now. Okay, gentlemen, take a long nap, Paul. Yeah, but trust me, I now have to field 2 calls before I can go to hit the gym, and then come home, take a nap, get some breakfast. That's my day, my friends. That's my day. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Let me play you out with a little music, man. I love my song.
Hands ready, heart open, move with purpose. Every step like you already chose it. Hey, build it, rise from the dirt to the sky that climb. Calm mind, strong frame. I remember every word, every line. Listen to the older man.
Plus, I enjoy what I do. Workaholic, yeah. Nah, I think I could do a lot more, actually.
More, more, more.